tonight's stream is something quite different.
Yeah.
First off, we're not doing Star Wars tonight.
Oh, okay.
Um, and anyone tuning into stream right now can easily see what we are doing. Give me one sec. I'm actually gonna fucking hell. Um, yeah, anyone tuning into stream right now, and I'm gonna send the actual video to Discord so you can watch along. Um, we're doing the new Zelda game.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I got it last night. Um, I got it last night during a midnight launch event. In fact, the image I sent to Discord of me with the quote unquote cursed arm, that special sleeve that I got, actually was a pre-order bonus for the game. So
Oh, okay.
yeah, I didn't know GameStop was doing pre-order bonuses though. So it was kind of surprising.
Yeah.
But it was a toss between that and it was a toss between getting the sleeve and a wooden plaque, um, which has kind of a design based on this game. Um, I liked the plaque, but if they let us only choose one, we couldn't take both. I went for the sleeve because that's something that I think I'd have more use for, whereas the plaque would
Oh,
just be
okay.
gathering dust on shelf. Anyway, so give me one sec. I'm gonna transition over. But I've been playing it a bit since last night. I am going to start it on one of my alternate Switch accounts, so I can
Mhm.
actually play from the beginning of the game. But the I've been playing it since last night, and I've definitely been enjoying it.
Right.
Um, well, and especially the big mechanic that they added for this game is the ability to fuse items together,
Mhm.
and the amount of stupid shit that you can do with that is so much fun.
Yeah.
Um, well, and it's actually two separate things for doing the like fusing
This
items
stupid
together to
light
make
keeps
the
getting thicker.
cart and fusing items together to make like weapons to get fusing things to weapons. Um, but while I was testing it out,
We've been descending for a while now.
one of the
These
things,
tunnels are
because you can
deeper than
even
I thought.
attach things to your
What
shields,
could be down
Oh,
here?
yeah.
which is an actual which in and of itself is a nice bonus. Um, because you can have shields that can actually attack your enemies while you yourself are dodging or trying to, well, shield yourself.
Yeah.
But one of the funnier things that I attached, mostly on accident, but one of the funnier things I had attached to a shield at one point before the shield itself broke
People have been
was
falling
a
ill
minecart.
after coming into
Right.
contact with the glue
So I
injected
just
into the
run it. So I
skeletons.
was just running around Hyrule with a
They must
fucking
be loose,
minecart
misty,
shield.
and not concentrated
Mhm.
enough
Um,
to harm us.
and that was fun.
We'll keep going.
Yeah.
But coming up from beneath Hyrule Castle,
Um, it's also interesting. So you technically
we do not
start the
know what
game
waits
with the
below,
Master
so we
Sword,
need
and
to
I
be
don't
ready for
know
anything.
any other Zelda
But
game
I
that
know
starts
I'll
you
be
off
okay
with the
with
Master
you,
Sword.
Link.
Mhm.
Let's go solve this mystery.
To be fair, the same stuff, the same corruption that made that um same corruption that ended up screwing up Link's arm ends up ruining the Master Sword, so it's not like
Yeah.
it's not like you can use the Master Sword that much, or at least the few times you can use it in the game, it's really like it's an actually fairly weak weapon,
Hmm.
Yeah.
but it is cool. It is definitely cool that
Hmm.
like you start off the game with the Master Sword.
Yeah.
Well, and it's also funny because um technically the game starts like Link has max stats.
Mhm.
So that like I think what they're implying is canonically Link in between in between Breath of the Wild and this game maxed out all his stats, or during Breath of the Wild maxed out all his stats.
Okay.
Um I haven't gotten very far story wise, but I'm almost convinced that this game's gonna somehow involve time travel.
Oh.
Because, there are just hints, like um we'll see it earlier. We'll see it later, but when you first meet Ganon, like the mummified version of Ganon, it he acts as though he's met Zelda and Link before, which granted, canonically every Ganon in Zelda is the same Ganon.
Yeah.
So if I'm wrong and it's not and there isn't time travel, it easily could just be a this is it's because Ganon has fought many versions of Zelda and Link that he can recognize when the next incarnation is there.
Right.
Um, but with but the way they made it sound,
You're not
it
hurt, are you?
really feels like they're trying to set up, oh, there's gonna be time travel. That's why he knows Zelda and Link.
Right.
Um,
Look at these murals.
and I mean, it wouldn't be the first time a Zelda game has had time travel. Hell, it's not even the most recent. It's not even the most recent game technically
Histories of
to
the
involve
royal
time
family.
travel was
Ancient stories of a great war fought
Hyrule
long
Warriors:
ago.
Age of Calamity.
It was a conflict between allied
While the
tribes,
characters themselves
and
don't
several
time
beliefs
travel
are
is
referred to as
important to
the
the plot
Demon King.
because one of the little
Is it possible?
ancient
Do these
mech
murals depict
things
the same legend?
um, is sent like 100 years back in time to the events of Age of Calamity, which
This
like
is
canonically would
similar
take
to the
place before
statues we
Breath of the
saw earlier,
Wild,
at
but it like
Zonai.
the little
And these
droid
figures.
thing is sent
Look
back
like
in time
hobbits.
to help them, thus
Yeah.
This
kind of
depiction certainly suggests that the Zonai
screwing
descended
things
from
with
the
the
heavens.
timeline. It's weird, and I don't know much of Age of Calamity. I don't even
It
know
said that
if
my
it
ancestors,
is
the first of Hyrule's
canon
royal family, were born from a union of
to
gods
if it is
descended
canon,
from the
or it's just kind of
heavens.
its own thing, kind of like the first Hyrule Warriors, where it's not.
These
It
murals tell
the
a
first
similar
Hyrule Warriors
story.
doesn't
And
really
if they
take
are
place
accurate,
anywhere in the
then
Zelda
the gods
timeline. It just
mentioned
kind
were
of
the Zonai.
exists.
They must have
Um,
forged a relationship
Yeah.
with the
well,
Hyruleans of that
and
time,
the
working
story of the first
together
Hyrule
to
Warriors was
establish
um,
the kingdom of
characters were
Hyrule.
taking Zel
This
the
figure.
some of the original
He
characters
seems to
from
be
that
stealing
game
something of
were taking
incredible
the
power from the
characters
young
from all of
kingdom.
the different
Seems
Zelda
lines of what I read
timelines
during
to
the
help fight
stories. Oh,
villain who was doing the
and
same
then
thing
this.
but with
It
the
shows the
Zelda
Demon
villains.
King
So,
All right.
um,
and a fierce battle against him.
but yeah, Hyrule Warriors is a weird story.
If the creature depicted here really does represent the Demon King,
Yeah.
then
I did want to say, so yesterday when while I was out and
Incredible.
about doing my own thing, um,
This mural must be
ended
a
up
great
picking up
wall
a
fort
copy
with
of Star
royal
Wars
histories.
Rogue Leader for the GameCube for like
Oh,
$10.
nice.
This
Yeah,
is the
and
prison wall.
it's one of the Star
Have
Wars
you
games that I've
ever
been
had
trying
a
to find a
launch
copy of for a while. So
this
definitely
is a
happy that I
huge
have it.
discovery.
Yeah.
I think the only game in that trilogy I'm missing now is the third game, but I do
Well
have
then, we'll have to use this invention
I know
fast.
there was a
I'm
demo
glad I didn't
disc
leave it behind.
that had the
It's so easy to record.
that had a couple levels of the
Recorded?
first game, but it also had the
It looks
old
like the rest of the murals are obscured.
Atari the old 80s Atari Star Wars game that was
Just what
just like
is this place?
vector graphics, which I love that arcade game, and
Maybe we'll find
it
more answers
is a
further
really
ahead.
fun Star Wars game.
Link, let's
But
keep
yeah,
looking
I have
together.
that demo disc. I just don't have Rogue Squadron 3. Uh,
Right.
and I'm still sad. Um, Factor 5 was intending on doing a trilogy collection that has all three of them for both the Wii and the Xbox 360 before Factor 5 got shut down.
Mm-hmm.
And I want that collection to be leaked. I wish that collection would just be leaked at some
Yeah.
point. Um, because it was supposedly pretty it looked pretty good. And I mean, outside of changing the game to work with Wii controls, it did add stuff. I remember that, but like some of the stuff it added were more I know it added a lightsaber fight thing where you could dual characters in the Star Wars canon.
Yeah.
And of course that used actual that ended up using actual Wii Wii motion controls, but it's one of the few times where I look at it and think, I can forgive the motion controls because that's kind of the point of the mini game, and it wasn't like that was that was how the entire game worked in general. It was more just kind of a that's how like that was a separate side mode, whereas the main mode was the dogfighting that was in the main Rogue Squadron series.
Yeah.
I mean, hell, even if all that collection was just the Rogue Squadron games, but on Wii, I'd still take it. I'm surprised that with Disney and Lucasfilm making all of the re-releasing a lot of older Star Wars games that they haven't re-released Rogue Squadron.
Yeah.
I would play Rogue Squadron if they released it on a modern system.
Mm-hmm.
It's one of the few Nintendo 64 games I think would probably actually be better on a regular controller
Yeah.
because most most N64 games can easily like they need the wonky three-pronged N64 controller. Like I playing Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask on the Switch Online, which I know at launch when those games came to Switch Online, the emulation was bad, but I'm happy they've at least fixed a lot of the problems.
Yeah.
Um, I mean, it's not perfect, but it's definitely at a much more stable place. Um, I can't play the original N64 versions without an N64 controller.
Right.
It does not feel right. And granted,
Understandable.
well, and part of the reason I say that is I could probably get used to it after a while, but it's the playing the ocarina with an analog stick does not feel good.
Yeah.
Um, but something like Rogue Squadron, I can see that working fairly well with modern controllers. I mean, I think the C buttons were used to change camera angles, and they could probably map that to face buttons or the D-pad or something.
Yeah.
I just and that's the only honestly um the first Rogue Squadron, which granted did get a PC release around the time. Like the first Rogue Squadron is the only one that I think might run into some problem getting a re-release, but I can still like I would just like a Rogue Squadron collection that had those three games.
Yeah.
Because that was a good trilogy, and I'm sad. That's one of the few parts of the Legends universe that I'm sad is like they wiped from canon when Disney got the rights to Star Wars, but it's it's more because that was the only part of Legends canon that I knew.
Yeah, I understand. I'm still pissed off that again they removed Cal Katarn because he's literally the best Jedi.
Yeah,
Like in my opinion, he is the best Jedi ever. Like even surpassing Luke.
yeah, and it it's more upsetting because there's just like there's a lot of really good stuff from Legends canon, and then they're like, no, we're gonna do our own thing, and it's like, why do you have to do your own thing? You could just, I mean,
Yeah,
I get doing your own thing, but you can do your own thing and not actually change stuff that people like.
exactly.
I don't know. It's crazy.
I mean, did we even like get a reason for that? For why they just got rid of the extended universe, or no?
I I I don't think we got a definitive reason. To my knowledge, it literally was to my knowledge the accepted explanation was just they wanted to do their own thing.
Right.
But I mean, it's like you said, they could, well, sorry, it's like I said, they could have done their own thing and not wiped stuff from canon that people actually really like.
Yeah.
Um, and I think Rebecca Sugar, the creator of Steven Universe, had the best way of doing canon like that, where it's um where a decent chunk of stuff was canon essentially unless it contradicted something specifically from the show.
Right.
Um, otherwise, because there were different levels of canon. There was level one canon, which was like the show and the movie. There's level two canon, which is like comics and games, and I think there was like a level three canon, which is more or less its own thing, or
Yeah.
essentially the non canon stuff. But level two canon for Steven Universe was essentially if as long as the show itself doesn't contradict it, it's like it did happen.
Yeah.
And one of the best examples are there were three Steven Universe games. Unfortunately, I'm annoyed that one of them was a mobile game because it's supposed to be fairly good like paper a very good Paper Mario esque game.
Yeah.
But with shit, losing train of thought. But all three of those games are actually canon. Like they've admitted, yeah, it's extended universe stuff, but it did actually happen. And I wish they would do something like Disney would do stuff like that with Star Wars. Is essentially, unless it's something that contradicts the movies, it's actually canon.
Right. Yeah, that
And
would be the smart thing to do.
yeah, and that's what I thought they did for a while, but no, a lot of the stuff before the Disney buyout, a lot of that stuff was there's your title screen. Was
Yeah.
a lot of that stuff was what was wiped from canon, and it's like, well, you don't. There's a decent chunk of the stuff that doesn't actually contradict um contradict movies or TV shows.
I know.
So it's just kind of silly.
Yeah, it really is. And I don't know what the reason is because it's like they own the copyright, they own LucasArts. There shouldn't be a problem with it.
Yeah, there's just a lot of things from it that I feel is just kind of being kind of dumb with the we own this, we have control over it, so we're gonna do what we want. Um, and there are better ways to do that.
Yeah.
Anyway, Link lost an arm.
Oh,
Uh,
okay.
so
Yes.
when I made the joke that Link's arm is cursed, that's actually not 100% true. So when Ganon was resurrected with like the mummy Ganon was resurrected, um, he ended up corrupting Link's arm, and Raru, who is like this goat person we're gonna see later, um, essentially had to amputate Link's right arm and just replaced it with his
Oh, okay.
own. But all of it, if you've seen Breath of the Wild, because I know you don't have a Switch, Phantom, but
No, I don't. And to be honest, I don't really care about Zelda as well.
that's fair. But if you've seen the Sheikah Slate stuff from Breath of the Wild, all of that is just now used with Link's new arm.
Oh, okay.
Um, Everything except for mapping out the area is just done with Link's new arm.
I know.
But
All right.
you can stick shit to other shit. You can apparently rewind time with one of the abilities is just to rewind. I say rewind time. It's you make certain objects reverse. So, say a boulder's rolling downhill, you can actually make it roll back uphill
Oh, okay.
and stuff like that. Um, I think there are some abilities from Breath of the Wild that are in this game. I, off the top of my head, don't know what any of them are because I haven't gotten that far yet. But um, it's just kind of interesting to me.
Yeah.
I also find it funny. So Breath of the Wild had the Ubisoft. We're gonna have these large towers in the middle of nowhere to map the location.
Oh, that sounds enjoyable.
It honestly, it was one of the few things of Breath of the Wild that I think did kind of suck because it's the it's the Ubisoft thing. But at least in Breath of the Wild, it was I didn't seem to mind it as much in Breath of the Wild, but I think granted, eh. Breath of the Wild came out in like 2017, so it's like right as a lot of open world games were starting to like it was just starting to get annoying.
Right.
Um, Here they still do it, but I like you don't have to climb up a tower to activate it. You just have to walk to a tower to activate it.
Yeah.
I mean, you still have to like go inside, but you don't have to climb a tower and defend yourself from multiple goons just to do it. And
Right.
what's funny is the way it works is um Link is just launched up into the air
Yeah.
and takes a picture of the ground below him.
Oh, okay.
So that is how he basically he maps the area from a tower, and it just
Uh,
looks funny to me.
yeah. Yeah, I was wondering, this game is essentially ripping off Nuts and Bolts, right?
Um, kind
I mean, that was a joke, but alright.
of. And I know it is a joke. Um, it kind of does with the ability to build like mesh things together, but it's not a um build anything. There's not like a menu. It's literally um I feel like adding this log to this minecart for some reason. Um
Yeah.
but it's like something as silly as that.
Right.
I guess in some cases it's actually it's more robust here than it was in Breath of the Wild. Not Breath of the Wild, Nuts and Bolts. The other game
Alright.
I'm thinking of. Because you have access to more items. Um, we'll see it in a minute when I do the first shrine because it's to show off how that mechanic works. Um,
Right.
but I think what makes it funnier because I don't remember I don't remember Nuts and Bolts doing this, but ow. Um, at some point you can just fuse items on the like items you find around to your weapons,
Yeah.
which is certainly helpful with bows and arrows because you can actually get shit um yeah shit I missed shit I cannot think you can attach random items in the overworld to your weapons and essentially make like stronger weapons um
Right.
when they show it off when you get the ability and they're trying to show it off um the way they do it is it is the game essentially tells you, hey, grab that broadsword over there and just stick it in that rock,
Right.
and the game lists it as a hammer,
Oh, okay.
which is it is funny to see. But with I like it more with the bows and arrows because you can have you can use you can attach certain items to your arrows to give them different effects. So you can attach a like a fire plant to make it where your arrows just light things on fire, a bomb flower to blow things up, um,
Right.
and stuff. And it's actually really unique. They even tell you there's I think it's called like a bloom seed that if you attach to an arrow and shoot it, it'll wherever it lands, it'll illuminate
Right.
it'll illuminate that area, which really is really helpful. I'm also annoyed because I remember trying to attach that to a stick to make a makeshift torch and it didn't work.
Mm-hmm.
I'm the only reason I'm disappointed in that was more because it's something that you kind of look at and think, oh, this is obvious, this should work, and it doesn't. I think what happens is when I end up hitting the ground with it, it ended up it ended up just planting the seed on the ground where I was. I was like,
Right.
well, that's not what I wanted to do, but I guess that's what we're doing.
Mm-hmm.
But I do like that it's built off of Breath of the Wild because Breath of the Wild a really good um was a really good Zelda game.
Right.
Uh, I know I know people had some problems with it more for um there were certain details that just people had issue with. One of which being the voice acting. Like people had been wanting voice acting in a Zelda game for ages, and when they finally did it, people complained about the voice acting. But it's at the very least, the voice acting in Breath of the Wild is still better than the fucking Zelda CDI games.
Hey,
Not
you
that
don't talk shit about that. That shit's a classic.
you know it's the only reason it's a classic is it's a meme.
I know. I know. But it's a great to the point where a lot of people know it better, and it can be repeated ad nauseum.
I wonder what Ganon's up to.
See,
Which oh
that's
yeah,
the
yeah,
point.
no. Which for the record, uh, I think next April Fool's Day stream, I'm definitely doing. I'm not the original games, but I'm gonna
You're
do
doing the
the
remastered.
yeah. I'm gonna do the remasters of at least one of them. I don't know which
Right.
I don't know which one I'm gonna go for, but I'm gonna do one of them.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I might make it a poll on stream. Uh, when it gets closer to it, what
Yeah.
people want, what people want to see me do more. Um, but it's kind of a yeah, it's iconic, but it's still it's iconic like the original Resident Evil was. Voice acting was iconic. Like it I like the original Resident Evil for how cheesy it is because the original Resident Evil to me feels like it's going for more of a B movie shtick. So the cheesy dialogue made it funnier.
Mm-hmm.
but I I will admit I do prefer the direction and line delivery from the Resident Evil remake, because that
Right.
if I'm looking for genuine horror, I'm looking for what the remakes have done.
Yeah.
Al-
Understandably.
Also, I love so the ability to stick things to other things is called the Ultra Hand,
Oh, okay.
which one of Nintendo's first products before they got into gaming was called the Ultra Hand.
Oh,
But
right. Yeah.
you know, like those grabby claws you see
Yes,
as
I
toys.
know what you're talking about.
Yeah, that's what it is. So I almost certain that them calling this ability the Ultra Hand was a reference to
Yeah.
that. Anyway, I'm gonna make a bridge. That did not work.
Oh, yeah.
Um, well, the pillar that I was trying to use just immediately fell
Yeah.
down.
Okay.
But just stick this thing to this thing. Ah, I have created bridge.
Yes.
It also gives you it's neat because this is something that that because the Ultra Hand is more or less a glorified upgrade to one of the abilities you had in the last game to which I think was like magnesis, and it let you pick up items just
Right.
that were just around, but it had to be specifically metal items. Um, this one lets you pick up like if it's an item that you can interact with, you can pick it up. Um, but I find it funny that you can just stick things together.
I mean,
Uh,
yeah, but we could say that other games could just do that.
True. Well, and for me, it I like it in this game because you're right. Other games can do that. It's just games that I've seen, you have to pick items up, put them in your inventory, and then add them together in the inventory. Here, it's you're doing this
So,
outside the inventory.
okay, but this is just like a glorified crafting mechanic, isn't it?
Oh yeah, like
Right.
I yeah, I can't even try and argue with that. It's a glorified crafting mechanic. It's just
Yeah.
it at least shit. I put that hook up. I put that hook on upside down. Um, hang on. I'm turning motion controls off. Why do I have to? Why are the motion controls on? It's at least more freeform than more freeform crafting mechanic than I've seen in other games, but it is still just a glorified crafting mechanic.
Right.
Um, it, and down we go. By the way, the audio. So I can't hear the audio of the game, but it is coming in for you, right?
I'm not watching the stream, so I don't know.
Okay.
I'm playing Minecraft, my bro.
Oh, you're playing another crafting game.
Yeah, exactly.
It's also weird because a lot of the I was playing the game last night after I got it, and a lot of the shit you can do, um, like strangely felt like I was playing with a debug mode for a game.
Oh, really?
Well, and granted that's mostly just me. I know there are games. I know that there are games like we reference nuts and bolts, but there are definitely games that have used mechanics uh like this. I mean, hell, when Breath of the Wild came out, a lot of people were looking at it like, yeah, this is like they're not doing anything new here. It's just new for that series.
Yeah.
Um, it's still a good game, and actually, um, I want to say if Nintendo were to make a movie of Zelda like they did with Mario, I Breath of the Wild is one of the few games that I look at and think, adapt the story of that one, because that would actually work well as a movie if they wanted to make a Zelda movie. That or either Ocarina of Time or Majora's Mask. Well,
I mean,
more Ocarina of Time, but
you already know my opinion of video game
yeah,
movies. I kind of don't want to get into that discussion again.
no, I know. I'm just saying a hypothetical if they were to do that, like those are the stories that I think would work best. Um,
Right.
but well, I also know at least in Zelda's case, a lot of times they've done mangas based off of different
I'm sorry. What did you say?
mangas.
Oh, I thought you. I'm sorry. I'm probably like a bit sleepy right now. I thought you said Among Us.
They're doing Among Us.
Oh
Uh,
God.
no, they're but they've done mangas of different Zelda games to kind of like retell the stories just as a book. Actually, giving Link a character outside of the grunts and
Right.
um I like how the mangas have done Link's character. I like it's funny to me that the most recent game that's been adapted, and they're still making mangas of this game. But the most recent game oh that's been adapted is like Twilight Princess.
Right.
So that should tell you how far behind the games they are. But they did actually have a few of them. They did a two-part manga on.
Yeah.
Sorry, I lost my train of thought. Uh,
That's okay.
they did a two-part manga on Four Swords Adventures,
All right.
which I'm kind of surprised they were able to get that story into like a larger two-part story. They did. There is I hope that woman doesn't the woman the little android over there doesn't mind me taking their raft.
Right.
There are actually do have these and I really like them, but they have Oracle of Ages and Oracle of Seasons technically is a two-part story, but that's because those Zelda games are two halves of the same of a whole.
Right.
Um, I think both Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask were also two-part mangas. Um,
Yeah.
Twilight Princess is currently the longest story in the mangas with like I want to say they're close to like 12 volumes, and to my knowledge, the story is still not finished. Like I know Twilight Princess at the time was supposed to be like this big epic Zelda game, which is funny because it's kind of just a rehash of Ocarina of Time.
Yeah.
But they've done a few. I have no idea where I'm going with this raft. I kind of just wandering around with it. It's like, wait, shit. I don't know. I don't think I have anywhere I actually need this raft yet.
Yeah.
Um, as do. Um, I can't remember what other games they adapted. I don't know if they adapted the original Zelda games. I know Link to the Past, not a manga, but it actually got um, it got a full on, it got a full on comic in Nintendo Power, and that comic was a couple of years ago. I have a copy of it, and I still haven't read it. But a couple of years ago, it that whole
Right.
comic got a full physical release.
Right.
Um, even comes with a really nice poster, which
Oh,
I
cool.
one of these days I'll remember to actually hang that poster up with my other gaming posters, like my Banjo Kazooie poster that's hanging up above my TV. Which is really just the I think Loot Gaming one at one point Loot Gaming did had a lot of Banjo Kazooie
Yeah.
had a handful of Banjo Kazooie stuff, one of which being a poster, and it's literally just the box art for the first game.
Ah, nice.
I mean, I'm not upset. It makes for a nice poster, but
Yeah.
uh but yeah, like looking around my room and looking at the gaming posters, I have that. I have an actual not standee, an actual advertisement that GameStop had for Smash Brothers for 3DS. I have a GameStop advertisement for the original Watch Dogs and um, a pre-order bonus poster for a new Pokemon Snap,
Yeah.
which is actually a nice double-sided poster. I think I also think somewhere I have like a I don't have it hung up, but I think if I remember correctly, somewhere I have a double-sided Zelda poster that was originally for the Zelda's 25th, not 25th, 35th anniversary.
Yeah.
And that poster, hilariously enough, I got when I pre-ordered one of the Pokemon games. I think it was like the one of the Diamond and Pearl remakes.
Right.
Um, but they were out of the actual Diamond and Pearl posters,
Oh.
but they had like the GameStop I went to, which I think at the time I actually was working seasonally at.
Yeah.
Um, but that GameStop had run out of had like they just had a whole ton of um where am I being shot from? At the time they had a whole ton of pre-order bonus stuff that they just hadn't gotten rid of. I think um I think they ran out by the time I got there, which really saddened me because it was kind of cool. Um, but they even had like basketballs for one of the NBA 2K games.
Oh, nice.
And I don't even care about the NBA 2K games. I like basketball, but I don't play a lot of sports games. If they still had one by the time I got up to the counter to get my game, I probably would have grabbed one of them.
Right.
Because I mean, just fucking free basketball.
Yeah, exactly.
Um, well, and the other thing I noticed, which I think is a neat thing, um, certain GameStops will just be like it will just have like bonus. Um, okay, that fall was further than I thought. Not dead, but I'm kind of surprised I'm not. Anyway, but some GameStops will just have like bonus pre-order items, and you can ask them like, "Hey, do you do you have any pre-order items?" And
Oh,
some
really?
yeah, and sometimes and a lot of times the workers will be like, "Yeah, we have this." Like I've gotten pre-order bonuses. Um, I've gotten a couple pre-order bonuses for either games that I don't own or games I didn't pre-order. But that's actually how I got so the pre-order bonus for Elden Ring when that came out was a little ring based on an item in the game, and that item hilariously enough is that item is actually for summoning your horse in the game.
Oh, nice.
And I thought it was funny because I actually had the um I had a copy of the game. I had the ring. But I had not gotten very far. I'm not a huge fan of Soulsborne games. So I hadn't gotten very far. I remember taking my PlayStation over to Walker's apartment and showing him where I was in the game. And Walker it just kind of looked at me as like, "Wait, you haven't gotten the horse yet? You have the ring based on that item, but you haven't gotten your horse yet." And I'm just like,
Yeah.
yeah, I don't play Soulsborne games. I don't know what I'm doing.
Mhm.
Um, but yeah, I think I still have that ring somewhere. Um, and I know a lot of times, I think one of the best examples of how good or bad a pre-order bonus for a game can be is the Scott the Woz episode where he talks about pre-order bonuses.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of like there can be a lot of shitty pre-order bonuses, but there can also be a lot of nice ones. I think some of the best pre-order bonuses I've seen for games are Lego games
Yeah.
because pre-ordering Lego games you actually get fucking Lego sets or an exclusive in some cases like an exclusive Lego figure. And that has to be some of the most fun pre-order bonuses for a game because it's something that I mean, if you're buying a Lego game, chances are you're a Lego fan, or at least a fan of that property. So
Right.
it's nice to have a little it's nice to have a little thing with it. If I remember correctly, when I pre-ordered Skywalker Saga, um I got Poe's X-wing, like a little
Nice.
mini. It's not like the full X-wing you can fit a character in, but it's like a little miniature model of it. Um, and it looks nice. Um, I know the one pre-order bonus to actually relate this back to Zelda. One of the few pre-order bonuses that people always look at and think is a good was a great pre-order bonus was one of the Zelda games. I don't a Wind Waker. That's right. One of the pre-order bonuses for Wind Waker when it originally came out on GameCube was was a bonus disc for that had Ocarina of Time
Oh, cool.
on it, and it was basically Ocarina of Time on GameCube.
Nice.
And I know, well, and I don't remember, I can't remember if this was a pre-order bonus for Wind Waker or if it was just a separate thing. But there was also the Zelda collection that had Zelda 1 and 2, Ocarina of Time, and Majora's Mask all on
Yeah.
one GameCube disc.
Ah, okay.
And it's one of the few um but it's like that and and the Ocarina of Time, because it also had a Ocarina of Time Master Quest, which was a harder version of Ocarina of Time with the dungeons rearranged. Um which I'm happy they actually included they included that version of they included Master Quest with the 3DS version of Ocarina of Time.
Yeah.
It like just as an unlockable, and I'm happy they did that because that was legitimately one of the better things to do. And in fact, Ocarina of Time 3D on the 3DS is like the definitive way to play Ocarina of
Yeah.
Time. I think at this point, if you don't have a 3DS, it's better just play it on the Citra emulator, especially because you can get like nice shaders and everything, make it look high definition and real nice. But
Right.
um, but yeah, no, it's oh, I don't have the item. No, that's right. Um, but yeah, like Ocarina of Time is 3D is like is the best way to experience Ocarina of Time. Um, and it's funny because when they eventually remade Majora's Mask, which is something people both asked for and were rumors that Nintendo ever since they did Ocarina of Time 3D they were going to do Majora's Mask. Um,
Yeah.
and at launch, Majora's Mask on 3DS was not it wasn't bad, but with how good the Ocarina of Time remake was, a lot of people were looking forward to Majora's Mask, and Majora's Mask just happened to be like a okay at best remake.
Yeah.
But it also changed a lot of things that people liked with Majora's Mask. Um, there is a fan there's a ROM hack for Majora's Mask 3D that actually makes it much better, which is Project Restoration. And I actually say, first off, if you want to play Majora's Mask, find a way to play the original N64 version. But if that's not an option and you just have a 3DS, first off, I hope your 3DS is modded.
Right.
Like not even for the ROM hack. I hope your 3DS is modded just in general at this point because, well, for one thing, eShop's down, but there's a lot of benefits for having a modded 3DS. But on top of that, ow. Um, Project Restoration, being able to play that on actual hardware
Yeah.
it is so good, and it's one of the things I like about um, it's one of the things I like about ROM hacks for Nintendo for like recent Nintendo like GameCube, Wii U, 3DS, technically Switch. Just I don't recommend modifying your Switch.
Yeah.
But like there are actually some good mods for Switch games if you're willing to modify your Switch, or
Hmm.
again in the much like the same, yeah, in the same case as um the Zelda 3DS games, like you can easily emulate those games. Um, ow, what the? No, I didn't want to do that. Well, great.
Right.
Now I have a stick stuck to my shield.
Okay.
Um, I'm also out of food, which is more important. But I know one of the mods I've seen, which is actually an enjoyable mod. Um, some of the mods I've seen for Switch games are like mods for Mario Odyssey that adds new outfits. Mods for
Yeah.
Zelda, which turns it into a cursed nightmare. Um, I'm not saying it's not funny. It is fucking cursed nightmare. Um, and I remember when I was messing with my hack Switch, one of the mods I actually played, which I really liked, was one for Mario Odyssey that changed one of the worlds, or one of the kingdoms in Mario Odyssey. I can't remember which one, into Treasure Trove Cove from Banjo-Kazooie.
Ah, nice.
It even went so far, and this is something I like. The mod actually changed the moons from Mario Odyssey into Jiggies,
Ah, nice.
and the coins were the notes. But it was, but the only downside is that did it to, when I was playing the mod, it actually did that to every shine in coin.
Oh, okay.
So instead of collecting moons, you were collecting jiggies.
Right.
But it was still really cool. Um, and I know there's a mod for there's a ROM hack mod for multiple Mario Karts, which is like, I can't remember the name or the abbreviation, but I think it's like shit. I'd actually have to pull up my 3DS. Uh, I have to pull up my 3DS, and I don't know where that is right now.
Right.
I'd also have to turn it on. I don't feel like doing that. But what? Oh, it's like something GP. CTGP. I think it like Custom Track Grand Prix.
Oh, okay. That makes sense.
Um, but it there are versions for multiple different. There are versions of that for multiple different consoles, for multiple different Nintendo consoles, and modifying um different Mario Karts. But one of the cool benefits is a lot of those games, like those are custom tracks made by by the community. Um and with the 3DS and Wii U Mario Karts, um like Mario Kart 7 and 8, those those are still getting updated, but they even it granted it's not even just only custom tracks. Some of them even add custom characters or special alternate designs for certain characters.
Yeah.
I think the one for CTGP 7 for 3DS um actually adds Rob back in from Mario Kart DS.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. Um I think what was funny is one of the it it also one of the custom characters that has is Sonic, but the custom characters typically have to replace a character in the roster because they can't just add characters, I guess.
Right.
Um, but the character, it's funny to me because the character that Sonic replaces in the roster is Donkey Kong.
Nice.
Now the thing is, I don't think he, I don't think he actually shares Donkey Kong's stats. Like they changed, they were able to modify it enough where it changes the stats of each character, but it's still funny to see like Sonic. Um, and they even added like voice lines to it as well.
Nice.
So you hear Sonic going, "Here we go,"
Right.
um, which is cool. Um, but I know there's a version of that mod for 3DS, for 3DS, the original DS, and the the Wii and Wii
Yeah.
U. Is there a boulder nearby? There is not. Okay. And it's just kind of interesting that a lot of fans have done that for
Yeah.
for different games, and that's something I've liked is just fan mods or ROM hacks for certain games, either trying to improve it or try and make the game fresh.
Right.
Um, I mean one of the more common ones I've seen fairly I've seen be more prevalent recently is stuff like the randomizers,
Mhm.
which I don't think I could do a randomizer.
Right.
Because it would definitely have to be a game that I have played enough times for it to be like, okay, I know this game. I more or less know this game inside and out. Um, I want to randomize. The only game that I've debated doing a randomizer is there's a randomizer for the first Ratchet and Clank game.
Right.
Uh, only the PlayStation 3 version, though, not for the PS2 version. And I'm sad that it doesn't work for the PS2 version.
Right.
Well, now we have a motorized raft, and it's going the wrong direction. Fuck. Um, but I remember seeing a video on it, and it's just like, man, this is wild. It's also made in such a way where you can't soft lock yourself.
Right.
There are there are a few areas where you still can, but it uses kind of like a cheat engine for the Ratchet and Clank collection that more or less gives the game debug mode. So you can just if you do get soft locked, you can you can just go to the console, say um because the game is supposed to run on your on a, like a or the game runs on PS3. The thing is supposed to run on your PC. You connect via
Right.
Wi-Fi. But it's um
Yeah.
sorry, I
Let's see.
trying to think.
That's okay.
But it so you could essentially enter the debug console and have Ratchet essentially no clip his way through certain areas.
Oh, okay.
So if you do on the off chance you do get stuck and in an area and can't progress, you can basically say, all right, I'm gonna no clip through this gate.
Right.
Um, Man, it's dark in here. Um, but it's one of the only times the game the only times you would use it is for soft locking. Otherwise, you can play the entire game while you can play the entire randomizer and not get soft lock.
Yeah.
The way the randomizer is set up is basically you if there is if there is a gadget if there is a gadget that you need for a level, it will not let you access that level until you have that gadget. Like it'll give you just random levels to start off with, but if you say you don't have the swing shot, it will not thought I had more of those. I do have more of those. Good. Um if you if you don't have the swing shot, it will not spawn a level involving the swing shot until you get it. And
Yeah.
and that makes it really helpful.
Mhm.
Now, one downside is you could end up with like for a decent chunk of the game, the only weapon that you have is like the fucking taunter weapon that is more or less useless, and you have to go through some of the more difficult levels with just Ratchet's wrench. But it, it's funny to me because it basically the entire game is playable.
Yeah.
Uh, the entire game is playable from start to finish without any major soft locks.
Right.
But it's one of the few it's one of the few game randomizers that I actually have wanted to try. That in Pokemon, because I think a Pokemon randomizer would be fun. I would never do because I know people do like randomizer Nuzlocks. I I can't I can't bring myself to do a regular Nuzlocke. So doing
Right.
a randomizer Nuzlocke terrifies the hell out of me.
Mhm.
Especially considering like you can get shit just from starting.
Right.
But yeah, I think a Pokemon randomizer would be kind of fun. especially because like some of the fucking Pokemon, you can end up with a legendary Pokemon starting out.
Yeah.
How's it hanging, Goat Man?
Hmm.
I don't actually know if Rauru is supposed to be a goat. He just he looks like a goat like creature.
Yeah.
So it's like every time I see him I can't help but think this man's a goat.
Mhm.
I like the character design though.
Oh,
It's a
yeah.
nice it's definitely a nice design. It's just like I can't stop looking at him and think
Mhm.
this man's a goat. This is I remember this coming up um being a puzzle that you need to
Yeah.
this coming up that so not this track but the track after it there is a the idea is to get a minecart on it um on the track so that you can get past it but part of the track is missing so you have
Right.
to think creatively. I don't fully remember how I got past it, but I think but there are like hooks nearby, and I think what the game wants you to do connect is to connect a hook up to it and just instead of having the instead of having the minecart just on the track, just connect it via the hook and do it that way. I didn't think of
Yeah.
that. I didn't think of that until way after I got past this section of the game. Um, is it possible to just pick up this Octorok? Or not Octorok, Korok. No, it isn't. Without there, let's pick it up this way. Um, yay, golden poop. Yeah, so here's one of the hooks. I'll just get this there.
Yeah.
Move the minecart onto the track and hope it'll work. I'm gonna have to rotate this. Certainly though. Because I'm almost certain this is what the game intends you to do.
Yeah.
I'm not sure, but I'm at least gonna try it. If it doesn't work, then I at least know that there was an attempt. Onwards! Uh, onwards! Forward!
Exactly.
If you were paying attention to the stream, you know why I'm laughing.
Yeah. I'm sorry. Just doing my own thing.
Look, can you look at the stream just real quick?
Okay. Give me a moment. Oh. Yeah.
We are not moving at all.
Yeah. Exactly.
I think there's another hook around here somewhere actually, so I'll just connect I'll try and connect this other hook. See if that makes it level. I think problem I have right now is that it's just not level enough. So it's like the back minecart's too heavy or something.
Right.
And yeah. I also want to there. But yeah, like this is one of the things I've enjoyed the most is just making stupid shit like this.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's kind of a yeah, that's the point is you're doing
Mhm.
stupid shit like this. Um, which I think is why I thought why it kind of felt like I was messing with a developer mode because the amount of shit you can do is just kind of funny.
Yeah.
All right, try and gently. Ah, come on. Ah, there we go. And then hopefully. Ah, shit. My cart thinking about thing.
Yeah.
Hang on. Trying to angle it just right so I can get it on the rail. The fan that I'm using to propel it forward activated. I don't want that. Come on. Eh, eh, ah. There we go. That should hopefully work.
Right.
Now to climb aboard. Fucking yeah. Onwards! You know, come to think of it, I probably could have just done this with one minecart and one hook, but fuck it. If it works, it works. I'm having fun doing stupid shit. I mean, that's what people were doing in Breath of the Wild.
Yeah.
They found out that they could basically make like these hovercraft, not hovercraft. They could fly fairly far with just a minecart, like putting one minecart on top of another and using the magnesis thing
Yeah.
to move the bottom minecart. Um, let's try that. To move the bottom minecart, they can basically just fly across the entirety of Hyrule, and it's like, man, this looks incredibly
Right.
fucking stupid, but I love it. People have just been able to do stupid shit like that. And it's one of the things that I enjoy about this game, and I was really looking forward to, just
Yeah.
seeing the amount of stupid shit people can do. Um,
Yeah.
I also find it funny. So apparently, um, apparently somebody has already sped run the game,
Oh, okay.
and the time that they got was like an hour and 34 minutes.
Oh, all right.
You know, a game set up like a fucking Ubisoft open world game that takes hundreds of hours.
Yeah.
Yeah, finished in an hour and 30 minutes, in 34 minutes.
Nice.
It's the amount of shit people can do, speedrunners have been able to do is kind of impressive. But I love the game. The game literally came out today, technically last night, depending on where you are in the world. But somebody has already fucking completed it in under 2 hours.
Yeah.
I'm not even upset. That's impressive. I think the one of the few things that I'm a little annoyed about is the amiibo support, because other Zelda game, Breath of the Wild's amiibo support was actually pretty cool, and this game seems to do something similar, just not completely the same, or at least it does to me. But in
Yeah.
I'll just let him kill those choo-choos. Um, in Breath of the Wild, you could in Breath of the Wild, uh, if you had a Zelda amiibo and you scanned it into the game, you would actually get items based off of that amiibo. So, say you had a Zelda amiibo based off of um, Twilight Princess,
Yeah.
you would then get an outfit for Link to wear based off of his Twilight Princess look.
Mhm.
And from what it seems, or at least from what I've seen so far, I haven't been able to actually do that. And it really, I haven't been able to get like those outfits, and it really saddens me. Although, apparently you're supposed to be able to customize the glider in this
Right.
game, which that's that like I still haven't gotten to that part either, but I like that's something that I kind of that I think is just kind of interesting. They
Yeah.
the like they didn't you had one glider and you had you had a glider in Breath of the Wild, but it was just like it never changed. It was just the same design. So being able to be like, oh, I want a glider that looks like Majora's Mask.
Right. Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm reading this shit right now. It's on Twitter, and someone has a fucking shit take about Halo.
As you do.
Yeah. I could read it out to you if you want to hear how fucking stupid it is.
I am curious.
Okay. I'm quoting here. You can't fix age. The Halo fandom has been absolutely toxic to even the mildest nods towards modernization for the last decade. All it's got left now is nostalgia factor. Nobody who grew up without it wants to play a game that feels like it's from 2004.
I I mean, in some cases, I can see where they're coming from, but holy shit, that's like,
It,
wow.
it's a shit take, because you know how many great games came out in 2004?
Yeah, I
God
well,
fucking.
and
Yeah,
I to some degree, I can see where they're coming from. Like, they don't want a game that feels like a PlayStation 2 game, but at the same time, it's like you realize that that a lot of games feel that way for a reason. It's because those are good games.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like I'm reading further for this guy, and it's like, you know, it seems like he doesn't really care about the other things that modernization brings in, like live surface modes or
Ugh. Oh, live service.
monetized customization. All this guy really wants is a
Microtransactions.
fucking no, all he wants is a fucking battle royale mode in Iron Sights. Halo does not need a
I
battle royale mode.
no, okay. I would play a Halo Battle Royale just to see how they would do it, but it doesn't need one.
It doesn't need one, and it's like it doesn't need Iron Sights as well. It really
look,
does.
look, if you want a Halo Battle Royale, just get the Master Chief skin in Fortnite.
I mean, exactly. It's like
Which is still
modes like Slayer, King of the Hill, and Capture the Flag are dated and unengaging by modern standards. What fucking games are you playing? Because there's
uh
still
you know what? I think this is somebody who really likes shit like Fortnite and Apex Legends. It's like this is why a lot of people don't like battle royales because of stupid fucking idiots like this.
yeah. I mean, and I get what he's probably trying to say. I mean, yeah, a game needs to modernize at times, but there are good ways to modernize, and there are very shit ways to modernize, and what he's suggesting is shit.
Yeah, like like I said, I can kind of understand where he's coming from, but the way he's saying it or suggesting this is such a terrible way of doing it. Like
Yeah,
I understand not wanting a game feeling like it's from 2004. Like because that's just a terrible way of saying I don't want a game feeling archaic.
yeah, but and I get it, but it feels like modern shooters are the same because they keep fucking
Yeah,
focusing. Oh, let's talk to the pro players and see what they do. And think, do not listen to pro players.
yeah.
Like literally, do not listen to pro players. They don't know shit.
Well, and it's like Sega thinking it's a good idea to listen to the people who never liked Sonic in the first place to help
Exact.
change Sonic. Like they're not the ones playing the games. They don't give two shits.
Yeah, I know. And it's like, God, I hate this fucking call for we need balance. We need balance. No, give me an unbalanced gameplay, but that's fun. Like
Make the
unbalanced but fun.
make the pistol overpowered again.
I mean, yeah.
Hmm.
I mean that could be a good start. But it's like here's the thing. This guy even fucking hates D-scope. He hates D-scope and says it's clunky and uncomfortable. There's a reason for D-scope, you idiot. Because the reason D-scope is like that is because if someone comes up and shoots you from behind, you can immediately respond and you don't need to take off the scope first.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, we just got the ability to just go through go through things.
Oh, nice.
Oh,
Fucking no clip mode.
yeah. This this is the ability that made me feel like I was playing with debug mode.
Yeah.
Now, to be fair, it's only limited. Like you can only go. Um, the game only lets you go through items from below. You can't go like through a gate, and it's only certain items, but it still feels like fucking no clip.
Right.
uh, I like the ability. It's just where I've been in my own personal playthrough, like I just haven't gotten super far to actually need the ability more than a handful of times. But I do like this ability though because it's just it's like you said, it's fucking no clip mode.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, no, like going back to the fucking shit take, like man, and that's basically just been Twitter for a while now is it just some of the shittiest takes on some of it's like basic shit.
Yeah,
I'm more annoyed with a lot of animation Twitter recently, just shitting on a lot of inconsequential things, or my feed being filled with, oh, this isn't actually as bad as people say, and it's like, fucking, I don't let me look at my porn, the
yeah,
porn I follow on Twitter, because all of the artists I follow on Twitter are too scared to post in any of the other places.
yeah.
Um, I honestly like I can't wait for Twitter to crash and burn because Elon Musk fucked it worse than it was.
It's always been bad, man.
Yeah, yeah, and you've said that before, and I agree. Yeah, it has been bad, but at least to me, it wasn't as big a cesspool as it is now.
Mm.
Hmm.
Like yeah, it was always kind of a cesspool, but it feels like it's become a larger cesspool, a larger and worse cesspool, I should say.
Hold up, has this tweet been fucking? I'm talking about a different tweet now, but I'm gonna fucking look on the Internet Archive, see if it fucking the Wayback Machine saved it, because I want context for what someone's saying here. Yes, it did save it. Where is it though? There it is.
They saved it, but I can't see where.
Oh, it's from fucking Adam Convert, from Adam Ruins Everything.
Yeah,
He's been recently seen in the WGA strike.
yeah, which
Eh,
I'm not surprised he is.
yeah, and his tweet like today, like about 9 hours ago. Well, I did it. I walked across a highway overpass to a GameStop moment of release.
So like the tweet was just to say he got a new game.
Well, yeah, but the thing is, it's funny that it's perfect about just him taking a break from a strike just to play the newest Zelda game.
Yeah, and I like Conover. I haven't checked Twitter in a while, but shit, I should have been on that. Well, there goes that. Well,
You'll
light,
get
I
it.
guess. I don't need. Well, there's like three of these wing things that I can just get on, and I didn't realize that it was sliding down.
Yeah.
So when I was playing this last night and got to this section where the game very clearly wants you to do what I'm doing now,
Yeah.
I had lost literally all of these wings.
Oh, okay.
And had to, so it wants you to go back to the Temple of Time, which I'm doing now.
Yeah.
I lost all of the wing things and didn't feel, I think I had a spare in my inventory, didn't feel comfortable enough to use it.
Oh.
So I just literally walked all the way, like walked the long way around back to the Temple of Time.
Oh, nice.
And it really drove me nuts.
Well, at least you got there now.
Oh yeah, no. I did it the way the game intended me to do. Saving about, yeah, I want to say about an hour of backtracking.
Yeah.
Um and at least me screwing up was an example of right idea, wrong execution.
Right.
Because I think what I did was I kept putting the wings too far down on the ramp that I couldn't get to the I couldn't get to it in time before it just completely fell. But it was so fucking.
Right.
It was just funny to think about. It's like
Yeah.
I played video games good.
Exactly.
Let me well, and the other thing is I kept I think at one point I thought, oh, the game actually tells me earlier that no matter how far up in the sky you are, if you fall into a body of water, like fucking Minecraft rules, if you fall into a body of water, you'll negate all fall damage.
Oh, okay.
Um, which I thought was funny when I first read it. It's like, oh, as long as you fall into water, you'll be fine. Um, and I tried that at some point.
Did you die from it?
I died, and I landed in water. I died, but I died because the water I landed into was literally freezing water,
Oh.
which kills you, which would normally kill you if you stay in it for too long anyway. So it's like,
Oh,
ah,
okay.
yes, I'll just get down. I'll get down quicker in because there's water. I'll just jump down and I'll be fine. This water is freezing. You should get out before you die.
Nope.
Fuck. Um, I mean, like I said, it was funny. So I'll at least give it that. It was a funny accident.
Yeah.
But I don't know what's worse. Trying to get because it was the same area that I was trying to glide off of. I don't know what was worse, trying to glide off the area and failing, or thinking, "Don't worry, I can save this," and dying to freezing water.
Yeah.
But I really do like this game. I've been enjoying this game, and I actually remember mentioning, so I still haven't actually finished Breath of the Wild,
Oh, yeah.
and I'm more annoyed that I haven't finished Breath of the Wild because I remember at one point borrowing a copy of a game, borrowing a friend's copy for a while, and almost finishing it.
Oh, okay.
I I basically was trying to 100% it and get as much get as much done as I could. The only thing I didn't do was the Korok seeds because there's 999 of those fuckers in the entire game, and I
Yeah.
am not torturing myself to do
Yeah.
that. Plus, the game only requires you to get a certain amount anyway for a side quest, and that's it. So
Right.
I just didn't want to worry about having to get literally all of them. But the only thing I had left to do in Breath of the Wild was one side quest and to defeat Ganon.
Nice.
But I had gotten so burned out of doing literally everything in that game
No, you just didn't do it.
that I kind of gave up.
Oh.
Um and I gave the game back to my friend. I ended up buying a copy of the game years later with the like
Mm.
when I was playing the game, I play it without the DLC, so there was even more shit I had to do
Right.
getting the DLC. But like when I got a copy of the game, I got a copy with the DLC. Um, but to this day, I still haven't finished it. And what's worse is I played that version. I played my friend's copy on my hacked Switch, and I lost the save file when I got my new Switch.
Oh.
Um, so I couldn't even resume from that point where I was pretty much done with the game.
Right.
I had to start all over from the beginning, and it drove me nuts a little more. Um, I still think Breath of the Wild is genuinely a really good Zelda game. I don't want to say it's the best. My favorite Zelda game to this day is still Majora's Mask.
Right.
But Breath of the Wild is it is a genuinely good Zelda game. It is a entertaining story. It is while it's not anything special because a lot of games before Breath of the Wild came out had done what Breath of the Wild did, it I can't remember how to get up there. Oh wait, no, never mind. It was a nice open world game, and I think it was Nintendo's first open world game. So that in and of itself was a big deal.
Yeah.
Um, and granted, Mario Odyssey is also more or less an open world Mario game. It's open world kind of like the recent Lego games are open world, where it has large open areas, but the world itself is kind of broken up into those areas.
Right.
Which honestly I think works more for a Mario game than a than something like Zelda, because um Zelda actually really works with I, the open world Ubisoft game design.
Right.
Now, it's um to some extent, like there are some things that I'm happy this game does that um Ubisoft should take notes from, but it definitely does work. Zelda does work as an open world game, although it is definitely strange to go back to. I'm a fucking idiot.
Yeah.
Oh, the no clip. I'm trying to figure out how to get to the top to this platform, and I'm trying to actually climb the sides, completely forgetting I have the fucking no clip ability.
Yeah, exactly. Should probably be using that.
Shut up, shut up, you.
No,
Uh,
I won't.
but so for a good minute there, I was just using the. I was just trying to climb the side of it, forgetting. Wait, Glitch, you have the no clip ability. Why don't you use that? It's like,
Yeah, why don't you
why
just do
don't
it?
I use that?
Fucking
Um,
forehead.
uh, it's fucking funny. Anyway, what I was saying about like singing games praises. Um, but yeah, like it actually does some pretty good things with the open world design.
Yeah.
But it makes it kind of awkward to go back to go from Breath of the Wild or Tears of the Kingdom to one of the older Zelda games like Twilight Princess, where yeah, it's still technically open world, but it it plays differently.
Right.
Whereas Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom, you can technically go anywhere and do anything, more or
Yeah.
less, and just kind of dick around with some more ridiculous things.
Yeah.
Well, time to wrap up a waterfall.
Oh yeah. Makes sense.
Whee! But yeah, like one of the abilities of this game, Link just can control fucking time now. So
Nice.
that's the thing. Well, I mean, technically, since Ocarina of Time, he's been able to do that
Yeah.
with Well, actually, in Ocarina of Time, he can't completely control time. He can only just control whether it's day or night.
Right.
Majora's Mask, he can.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is an interesting puzzle. Shit. That's a weird puzzle. So I know you're watching the stream right now, but to open the final door in this shrine, you have to sync up these two hands of a clock that are going in opposite directions. Like
Right.
one hand's going clockwise, one's going counterclockwise, and you have to time the rewind ability to one of the hands so it's going at the same time. But you have to time it just right so it's moving in time with the other one to open the gate.
Oh, okay.
But it has to they also have to be touching
Oh.
for it to work. Um because if they're not touching and you do it, you have to stop it and try again. And
Yeah.
holy crap, is that annoying? Wait, is it? Oh, it's 9 o'clock already.
Yeah, it is.
Um, I am. But yeah, that was. So we had Energy Wells. Ooh. Um. Oh. Okay, so I'm gonna have to come back.
Yeah.
Got it. Wrong one. But I'm gonna. So I'm basically gonna. I know it is 9 o'clock. I'm gonna end here soon, but I'm gonna. The entirety of Hyrule from the first game is available. It's not all just these Sky Islands that I've been wandering around on.
Oh,
Uh,
okay.
but I am going to. I think because I'm actually fairly close to it. Um, I am going to get off the Sky Island, and that's where I'm gonna cut. That's
All right.
well, not where I'm gonna cut the stream, but that's where I'm gonna set it up to end.
Right.
Um, but yeah, this was definitely fun. Play around with Zelda.
Yeah.
I think if I am gonna play, it might be a while before I play Breath of the Wild on stream, and I don't want to do. I don't know if I'm gonna do Tears of the Kingdom before or after I do that. I mean, technically before, but I mean, I don't know if I'm gonna do a full playthrough before or
Yeah.
after I do Breath of the Wild. I think the first major Zelda game I want to do on stream is gonna be um probably gonna be not Majora's Mask, Ocarina of Time, and even then it's gonna be I'm gonna do the 3DS version, using the Citra emulator.
Right.
So, but it's gonna be the point I'm trying to make is so it'll be a while before I get Breath of the Wild, but next time I mess with Zelda is gonna be that.
Yeah.
Um,
What's gonna be the stream for tomorrow?
I'm not sure yet. It's definitely gonna be Star Wars.
Oh, why not Backstroke of the West? We have another movie night.
Yeah, we could.
Yeah.
Um, and that way I don't have to return to Lego Star. I don't want to say
Yeah, there you go.
I don't want to say I've started getting burned out of Lego Star Wars. It's just I don't want to get back to it because the next movie that I have to do Lego Star Wars is a sequel trilogy, and
Oh yeah.
I don't hate the sequel trilogy. I'm not in any rush to get to the sequel trilogy.
Yeah, exactly.
Um, but yeah, we can do Backtrack to the West, and then we can also do I could get started on Jedi Fallen Order because that was one of the other games that I had planned for this month. But
Okay.
I'm probably gonna save that for Monday because Sunday either I'm gonna do a special either do a special thing for Mother's Day, not have a stream for Mother's Day, or it's gonna be a multiplayer night.
Yeah.
Um, but we'll figure I'll figure something out. But as for tomorrow, yeah, I'll try and get the guys together. We can do back to the last.
Nice.
And hopefully this time I'll remember to actually record everyone's voice.
Yeah, we could. Yeah, we could probably like test that tomorrow before stream. So just to make sure.
Just to be sure. I'm also gonna have to find the movie. So if you can find the movie and send me like a PM link to it that tonight, that'd be great. So I can either download it or have it ready.
Yep.
Good.
Ah, good. You opened the door. It was getting kind of hot in here.
To be expected. We're almost beyond saving. By visiting the shrines.
Raru, aren't you a ghost? Yeah. Doesn't mean I can't feel the heat.
Oh shit, it's on YouTube. Okay. I got
The
it.
entire movie?
Yeah, the entire movie.
Oh, nice.
I am so
Yeah, let me send it. There you go.
All right. So that actually, well, I said that might be easier for stream. I was gonna say that it might be easier for stream, but then I realized like movies like the Star Wars movies, I don't feel comfortable showing the actual movie itself on stream.
Yeah.
It shouldn't be, still shouldn't be a big deal, but definitely gonna test to make sure that that I have everyone that I can share everyone's audio before
Yeah.
stream, so I don't screw that up again.
Yeah, exactly.
I think that that's still one of the few things that saddens me about about the well, and granted that's just something that we've had like it really saddens me the last couple times we've tried to do a movie night. We've something goes wrong. I think the
Yeah.
only movie night that we had that we technically didn't have any problems with was Plan 9 from Outer Space, but Twitch muted it. So
Right.
Twitch muted it, and then when I tried to re-upload it, even with the muted audio, YouTube's like, so this is still copyrighted. You can upload it, but it's going to be blocked in certain countries, so some people
Right.
can't watch. I mean, it wouldn't have been a big deal for us if we wanted to rewatch it, but for say I have an audience in like UK or something that want to watch it, and it was blocked there, it'd be like, ah, fuck, they can't watch. They can't
Oh
watch
yeah.
us making fun of Planet Out from Outer Space.
Yeah, exactly.
Although, I know one of the clips from that movie night because I do still have that movie night available. One of the clips from that movie night that I'm going to definitely use for the end of year compilation of like funniest bits.
Yeah.
One of the clips is gonna be you yelling at me, you lost the movie.
Oh my god.
Because it's one of the few times where you guys yelled at me that I can't help but laugh at because like, no, I didn't lose the movie. But it's just the reaction. like, you lost Plan 9 from outer space.
Oh yeah.
But that uh, it's one of the few times I can actually laugh at someone being angry at me and me actually being embarrassed because I did something fucking stupid. And
Yeah.
granted, I think what happened was I didn't lose. I even said I didn't lose the movie. I lost where I was in I lost where we were in the movie, so I wanted to make sure that I had that I had it synced up so people could watch with us.
Yeah.
Which probably would have just been a smart idea not to even have the fucking movie.
Right. Honestly,
Um,
to me, like the joke that still sticks with me from that night is my fucking shitty Kurt Angle joke.
oh yeah, the fucking, like the one guy looking like Kurt Angle.
I know.
Which we just fucking the fact that we referenced that at multiple points throughout the night.
I know, man.
Which saddens me because I think a lot of a decent chunk of the jokes. A decent chunk of the jokes. All right, so I'm gonna end it there. Transition over. A decent chunk of the jokes end up getting muted, and there were like legitimately really funny jokes that I couldn't hear. And it for me, it's not even just like the stuff we couldn't hear. There were oh well, it's not just playing that from outer space. I was upset about it with the Sonic movie. I think it was like you and Rumpy's audio got in, mine didn't.
Yeah.
And even then, I think you guys had your audio because of the way I did that. You and Rumpy's audio was actually echoed,
Oh.
which in some cases could have made it. And granted, it's because I was recording both the Discord audio and my desktop audio, and because I had Discord on my desktop, it was basically recording Discord twice.
Oh. Yeah.
Yeah. But it didn't get my audio, and then we had and then it was Novelty Desire, the Novelty Desire,
Which you didn't catch our audio.
and I'm embarrassed about it because I didn't realize until after the stream that I didn't catch your audio, and more specifically what I did wrong, which was because I had the stream set to just chatting. I guess I never realized because that was the first time I used that panel. I never realized I didn't have Discord on that panel. But hopefully tomorrow we'll watch. What was it again?
Backstroke of the West.
Yeah, Backstroke. We'll watch Backstroke of the West, and hopefully we'll actually have the audio come in on that for that one.
Yeah.
And again, we're definitely gonna test it and make sure the audio is working before we do the movie, because we don't want to have another. We don't want to have another thing. And granted, I did still re-upload the commentary for Novelty Desire. The only downside is like the only audio that comes in is mine.
Yeah.
If you are Rumpy, or Walker remember any jokes you made that night, like send them to me and I'll try and like add subtitles to the YouTube re-upload where you guys have said stuff. So it's like, okay, this is what they're saying. I'm sorry I couldn't add the audio. I mean,
Right.
I mean, worst comes to worst, we can also just I don't want to do it tomorrow. I actually do want to do Backstroke of the West more. But like worst comes to worst, we can also just re-record that audio and say
Oh, yeah.
and say we had to we re-recorded it because
twice.
yeah, we had to watch it. Like the description will be, so because someone fucked up, we had to watch the movie twice.
Yeah.
Anyway, but yeah, no, that's more or less. That was a Zelda stream.
Yeah, that definitely was a
That
stream.
that was actually well, and I'm even happier. I'm definitely happy because it was got a decent chunk of showed off a decent chunk of the game without any major spoilers. I mean, the game's out, so most people who game's out, and technically it was leaked about a week ago. So anyone who was real excited and was even looking for the spoilers, yeah, they could have spoiled themselves
Yeah.
a week ago. But yeah, so you have anything left to say before I cut it?
No, I do not. Go ahead.
Well, I have something to say.
But I'm a genetic freak, and I'm not normal.
Nice.
Right. But with that, I will see everyone tomorrow, hopefully for movie nights. I mean,
Alright.
if not movie night, it's definitely gonna be multiplayer night. We'll do something.
Right.
Anyway. All that being said, I will see everyone tomorrow.